Now I want to introduce Jason, one of our DTRF's loyal fundraisers. He is going to share a little bit of his story and why he is such a great supporter of DTRF.
Thank you, Debbie. Much like Lynn, I struggle to talk without crying, so we'll do our best. So look, I think Debbie said it best, and you heard it from Dr. Gounder earlier, and we heard it in Lynn's opening. Third-party fundraisings are a big part of what we do. We are a small community. It's grassroots, I think was the word used earlier. We're not a major disease that has millions and millions of people. I think about the researchers. I think about the drug pharmaceuticals. I think about the doctors who spend time. Like, you're spending time for a very small group. There's not huge money to be made like there would be for breast cancer or ALS or Parkinson's or all these other things that also don't have cures. But it's for us. And so we have to take care of each other. I'll share my story a little bit. I know I've talked before, and some of you may have heard it, but for brevity and to stay on schedule, I'll keep it short. My beautiful wife back there, Katie, my caregiver and my wife. My journey started in 2017 with a very large tumor in my mesentery, the size of a volleyball, which is hard to believe. Shared a picture a minute ago with somebody, and led to a massive surgery, like some of us have had, where they cut out the entire tumor plus a lot of my guts, and it was extremely challenging and scary. And when you're laying in a hospital bed that first year, which I just couldn't seem to not be in the hospital that first year, you start making a lot of promises to people. My wife, God, anyone who will listen, just hoping that you can get out of this alive. And, and if you think about where we were in 2017, 18, that first patient meeting I went to in Philadelphia, it looked a lot different than the meeting today. Some of the people are the same people that were there. Dr. Gounder was there. Some of the researchers there. Lynn was there. The things that we're hearing about today, like cryoablation, the pharmaceuticals, these things were like dreams in the future. They were not actually what was happening. Everything was surgery. So look at the crowd here today. I can't even, it's so different. There was 40% of the people in the room were an amputee back then. That's a real story. Most patients, everybody who had a desmoid in their arms and legs. Kevin Riley, who spoke that year, who played for the Philadelphia Eagles, his arm was cut off from here. They had surgeries and then surgeries and then surgeries, because that was the only way that anyone was treating anybody. The things you're hearing about today, they were talked about, they were dreams. So you hang around long enough, hope starts to become belief. And right back here, it says cure. Like, we're all in it for a cure. We're not in it for treatments, short-term remedies. But I'll tell you what, like this foundation, it's created more and more treatment for us. It gives us options. Today, I'm not on any medicine today. I haven't been on any medicine for 3 years because of drugs like nirogacestat and the thought that, like, after 5 years or 4 years of being on sorafenib, of saying, okay, I could get off this drug so that my wife and I could have our third child, because if it doesn't work when I go back on it, I have another drug I can get on, right? That's what our funding does. We raise money. Our Swing for the Fear golf tournaments raised $250,000 over the last this will be our 7th year. We've raised $250,000. Like my community, my friends, like they know, like, you know, I know some people talk about how it's hard to talk about this disease. It's hard to share your stories. It gets annoying when somebody says, is that really cancer? Is this really that, right? But if you're not talking about it, nobody is. You're the only one in your community who can go out and tell somebody about what you're dealing with, the people in this room, the opportunity we have in front of us. If you don't do it, nobody will. My biggest ask, and the thing that I've learned from being a board member at DTRF is this. I didn't think my $50,000 that I could raise in a year would matter. Didn't think it was. Now I'm a board member, and I know that it doesn't matter if it's 2,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 or whatever it is. You might not realize. I didn't know till I became a board member and I started peeking behind the curtain. There's not a lot of people that are giving $5,000. Not a lot of people that are giving $2,000, right? If you could raise a couple $1,000s, $5,000 in your communities so that we could fund grants, like spontaneous regression grants, little grants that turn into big grants, that turn into life-changing moments for people. I had no idea how such a little fundraiser could make such a big impact. I didn't even think my tournament mattered. Now I know exactly how much it matters. And that's my biggest ask of you, is if you have the opportunity to pull your community together, do it. Thank you very much.